everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Heck Creative. Today we're going over all the Koopalings I have in 2.5 inch and 4 inch scale from Jakks Pacific. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. Now let's get to it. Small Larry stands at about 2 inches tall, maybe 3 to the top of his hair, and Big Larry stands at about 2.5 inches tall to 3.5 inches tall to the top of his hair. They both look good together. Let's find out who's best. Small Larry looks really cool. I like how we have this nice star on the side, this nice sky blue little shell looks wonderful. The hair is really nicely done with that gradient there, and his wand is the biggest of all. Here it's a little bit sectioned off as opposed to being rounded, which is interesting, and he looks super nice and accurate to the game. His head does move left and right this far. His arm does move around all the way. It's kinda hindered a lot actually by this shell. That's a shame. It does move around all the way for this side though, if you at least turn his head. It is hindered by the head and the shell, which is kind of a shame for both. You can take the wand out of his hand, as you can with all the other Koopalings, and twist his hand here, twist his hand there. No peg holes at the bottom of the feet, but the barcode is there, which is nice, and he does look really good straight out of the game. He's a nice little figure with some pretty good articulation. Big Larry is similar to Little Larry, just scaled up. He looks really nice though. The star is much more prominent, as you can see it more visibly. The sky blue looks really great over here, along with those darkened colors around the little burgeoning spikes over here. It's more spread out. You do get a little coat over here. Kind of a shame. Could have been the bottom of his foot, I think. And his wand is the biggest of all the Koopalings, I believe. It does have more rounding around the side, though. Looks very nice and really super cool. Yeah, he looks great. His eyes are kind of beady and really cute. And that shock of hair has a little bit less, like, dark colors in it and more light. But that's fine by me. You do get a swivel over here, which is pretty nice. You get up this far, down, all the way around. You get a swivel right over here. This can be removed, as with every Koopaling. It is an accessory after all. You get up this far, down, all the way around. You get a swivel right over here as well. You do get out and down. You get a little swivel. It's sort of a weird articulation joint right over here. It's kind of hard to move in a way, but it does kind of twist this way, at least in and out. You do get an up and down as far as the ankle goes, with a swivel a little bit, and then no peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Larry looks really nice, and I believe he's the winner for this category, at least for the big and small versions of the Koopalings. Small Wendy stands at under 2 inches tall, maybe 2.25 inches tall as far as her bow goes. She will probably fall after this. Oh no, she won't. That's pretty nice. She does have a weird center of gravity. And Big Wendy stands at about just under 3 inches tall, maybe 3.5 or so from her bow. So let's check out which one's best. Small Wendy has a really bad center of gravity. I am not really a fan of this figure. I wish the legs were a little bit outwards so she had some more balance. The rings are a nice little touch over here. They remind me of Sonic. I think she stole them from him. This little, like, necklace is nice. I wish it extended a little bit to the back, which is kind of weird. She does have some nice bow over here that looks good, and this is really nice over here, if a bit clustered together. It's a nice dark pink. It matches the rest of the pink on the figure. I like the pose too. It's kind of cute, and at least womanly for the time this came out. That standard has changed in the many years. Anyways, the head can not really move. The arm can kind of move around this much. This can come out and in at will. This can go up and down. The arm, not really that great, like she's calling to somebody, I think. And that's it. Really bad articulation, and I'm not a big fan of this figure. It just can't really stand, and it's hard to move. Kind of a shame. Big Wendy is way better, newly released. She's just awesome. I love how this figure looks. It's really interesting to me, everything about this figure. You get a way better back on that. The bow looks really cool and neat. At least we get some weird paint on this one, but no one's really gonna see it, I guess. The rings look larger and nicer, I think. Again, I still think they're Sonic's rings. And we get a wider stance for her, which is really nice and pretty good. As far as articulation goes, you can go up and down and a little bit of pivot, and you can swivel it around a little bit, but that does break up this, so just keeping it front and facing forward is fine by me. Giving it a little bit of swivel would be nice, you know, and that's actually pretty good for some posing if you want to hide where the necklace breaks off. You can also go in and then up a little bit. Not really too far, I would think. You can go up this far and sort of around, kind of. You don't really need it to move that much. This still can come in and out, which is pretty nice. And you also get some good up over here and down and then up this far. You can't really go all the way around. I wouldn't. Oh, you can. Okay, never mind. I haven't really moved this one that much. Anyways, so you get a swivel right over here. You do get an up and down to the side, which is interesting enough. You can, finagle that and move it towards, like she's kicking or something, which is pretty good. You do get ankle articulation, up and down. Very nicely done on that heel. And no peg holes at the bottom, but that's no matter at all. Forgot to say for Larry, too, you do get an up and down for the tail and a swivel, I believe, and she actually looks really, really nice. Very well done with this figure. Awesome, and definitely a winner. Here's Morton next to Big Larry. What are you doing here? Oh, I'm just going to show off this little tail thing that I didn't show off earlier. It goes down, and then up, and then a little bit of swivel, and that's basically it. I expect Morton to be as tall as Larry's hair. That's what I'm hoping for later on. So Morton looks really nice. I really love how this figure looks. Morton's always been a really interesting Koopaling to me. He's really great and kind of stupid in at least Paper Mario Color Splash, but he's really awesome. The black on the shell is really nice. We get that nice spacing over here. I expect it to be even more spaced on the big figure when that comes out eventually. We get some nice looking, character work for this. The expression on the face is great. The eyes are very outset. The hair is very nice and movable. The eyebrows are a little bit rubbery and really wonderful. You do have to kind of move them back a bit. I may just, try to push them back a little bit so they get a little bit onto the head. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be sticking out or not, but they do look great anyways. It's really nicely done. We do not get a swivel up here. We get a swivel over at the arm. You can move it not really all the way around, I'm afraid, which is kind of a shame. Let's try this one. No, not really. I don't want to chance it or anything. You don't get a swivel over here or here, which is kind of a shame. And his staff is a bright red. Very nicely done. You get a swivel here. Interestingly enough, the wrist can swivel independently from the bracer. So that's kind of weird. Let's try the other one. Yeah, you can do the same exact thing, which is kind of weird and cool. The star is kind of not really painted too well, but I got the best one I could find. I got a couple of these guys, And yeah, very nicely done. The staff can move in and out. A little bit squeaky too. I like how his nails are painted, and he's really well done. I hope we get a good Roy. I hope we get a good Morton sometime soon in 4-inch scale. That'd be great, but this one is really nice for now. Morton stands at about 2 1/4 inches tall, maybe 2 3/4 inches tall because of his hair. Little Lemmy's ball is about 2 inches tall, and Lemmy himself is about 1 1/4 inches tall, maybe 2 1/2 inches tall to the top of his hair. Meanwhile, Big Lemmy is around 2 inches tall to the top of the ball, and then for himself, he's around 4 inches tall to the top of his hair, and maybe 2 1/2 inches tall for his body. Lemmy Koopa has always been one of my favorite characters. I really like him a lot. He looks super weird and cool with the circus theme. He's really nicely done. The ball is super interesting, so I'm going to talk about that real quick. It comes on a stand you can easily take off. It's really nice. You can spin it on the stand, and it has a little peg for him to attach to. Very nicely done. The stars are painted really well, and I love the little motif they all have. They're all little stars, which is really sweet. We also get Lemmy himself, and he looks really nicely done. He's very short, very small. His head can move left and right. His arm can swivel and sort of go up and down a little bit better for this side at least, and swivel as well. He has really nice articulation for a tiny, tiny figure. The little equal sign is cute over here. He has a nice orange back and a little, frill coming out, I would guess. We also have some really nice shock of mohawk up here, which is pretty cool. I like the sort of punk rock aesthetic they're going for him. And it's super well done, really nice. His big eyes are huge. The green is really nice for this. And he's a really cute little character, and I just love him. He does have a peg hole at the bottom of his foot. You could fit into this right here. It only works on one side, and it kind of is limited in that way, but you can work around making it look really nice and awesome, and he looks great on this thing. The recently released Big Lemmy looks really awesome. I really love the ball, how they translated it to a shinier aesthetic. At least looks very, beach ball-like. The stars look really good on it, and it's super cool. It does come on another stand that is molded to the ball, which is great. You can put it on there, and you have some nice, it doesn't really want to fall off, or, it really has its nice center of gravity on that, is what I'm trying to say. It does come with 2 pegs for the feet and 2 pegs on the bottom of the feet, and they connect. And he just looks great on this thing. You can go back or forward with him. It's just awesome. As far as Lemmy himself, he is just wonderful. I love his look. He's so goofy and doofy. The mohawk is there. The orange is there. The spikes are pretty clustered, which is pretty interesting. He's a very small character, too, so I get that. I understand it fully. I like the little, gradient on this. I didn't really touch on that earlier, but it looks much better on here than it did there. The green staff looks really great, matches his head very nicely, and he just looks really awesome. You can look left to right very nicely. That little strip of hair doesn't really get in the way for anything, and you can also go up this far, down. You can just swivel all the way around for that, because his head isn't really that wide or anything. You can just swivel right over here, and goes out and in this far with the hand. Very nicely done. You get a sort of swivel right over here, and you can't really go up and down. You actually can. There is a joint there. It's hard to see, but it doesn't really want to work for me, so that's a shame. You can go up and down very nicely. You can swivel around over here, and he does come with the 2 peg holes for that. Goes up this far, down this far, all the way around. You get a swivel right over here, and he's just awesome. I really like how Lemmy works in this case. I'm glad they re-released him with that new collector's packaging. And hopefully they can get the rest of the Koopalings out soon, because I'm chomping at the bit. These are just amazing and look great. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. Small Iggy is in a certain pose, so it's hard to gauge his height exactly, but 2 1/4 inches tall to the top of his glasses, and then 3 1/4 inches tall or so to the top of his hair. Big Iggy gets around 3 1/4, maybe 3 1/2 inches tall to the top of his glasses, and then almost 5 inches tall, 4 3/4 inches tall to the top of his hair. And let's see which one's best. Big Iggy looks wonderful. I love this guy. He's really nicely done. The expression's kind of maddening and kind of freaky. You get a swivel at the top over here. You get a little bit of a swivel over here, not too much. You also get up, down, all the way around. It's kind of loose on mine. And you get an elbow joint, which is really weird. Up and down for this, which is okay. You get a swivel over here and then articulation over here. They really over-articulated these guys before they honed in on the actual look from the games. Same over here with the articulation, at least. It's pretty good. You do get a up and down very nicely, and an in and out very nicely, and then a down and a up, and a tiny bit of swivel, and no peg holes bottom of the feet, but the little barcodes down there, which is awesome and nice. The shell is really nicely done. It looks really good. We have a little nick over here on this, which is kind of a shame, but it looks really cool with the purple and the green. Looks very Joker-like, and yeah, Iggy's a really nice figure, and he's super cool. I just wish he looked less toy-like and more like the games, but I figure you have to sacrifice articulation for that. Little Iggy's a mess. I'm sorry. I hate this thing. He's my favorite Koopaling, and I just can't move him that well. It's so awkward to get this guy to move. You have to really not try to balance him, and it just doesn't work. Have him be up. Don't have him be in his pose from the artwork. I know you go off of that because it's lazy and cheap, but come on. Give me something better, Jax. His arms are really lanky and long. I like how it's a holding hand for like a bob-omb or something. That'd be great. He does come with a little stand over here, but it doesn't really work all that well. I'd rather try it without and see how that works. And nope, that doesn't work at all. Maybe trying to get him, posed in a certain way. Nope, that he falls again. Yeah, it's just awful design. I also had to kind of glue his, chin back together, which is kind of weird. His jaw line. He does look nice with the shell. Looks really good. The pose is pretty okay. He looks very accurate to the game. His face looks insanely accurate and really creepy and very well done. You don't get a swivel over here or anything. You get a swivel over here. You get a swivel over here. His wrist swivels. And you can't get a swivel over here. This is just pre-posed. And that's it. This does move in and out of his hand. Interesting hand grip, by the way. Kind of like a thumbs up, This guy does not get a thumbs up from me. He's just awful. And yeah, worse than Wendy. Wendy can really stand if you move her around a lot, but this guy can barely stand even if you try. So it's a shame because Iggy's wonderful and I really like him. He does look good like this, but in the artwork, at least, not as a figure. The only option for me is putting him in the clown car, and the clown car is a nice piece. I really like it a lot. It's really neat and super cool. He does work well in this thing, and within the confines, he fits incredibly well. Just having his hand rest on this thing as he fires magic, maybe holding a bomb in his hand. I probably should put that there or something. But it's really nicely done as far as the clown car goes. You do get a swivel for this, and you do get a stand you can peg in, and it's very versatile, very nice. You can use it for anybody and everybody, especially Bowser Jr., who fits nicely, at least both iterations, inside the Koopa Clown car. This is just really nicely done, and I'm glad this is transferred over to the Koopalings, as Bowser doesn't really fit in it much anymore as far as the look of it. If it was scarier and creepier, yes, but in this iteration, the kids work fine. There are 3 versions of Bowser Jr. here. We have the small one, which is around just under 2 inches tall, maybe 1 3/4 inches taller, so maybe 2 up to the hair. Actually, 2 1/4 up to the hair. Wow, he's growing so fast! The bigger one is around maybe 2 3/4 inches tall to the top of his head, and around 3 1/4 inches tall to the top of his hair. Same with this one. They both look great, but the paintbrush, let's measure that. Why not? It's around 3.5 inches taller, so let's see who's best. Little Bowser Jr. is really cute. I love this little like intimidation kind of mask. It's really interesting. You can take it off the figure carefully. Interestingly, there we go. And he looks like this. He looks kind of naked to me, honestly. I'm going to try to figure out if I could even, press it over him again to see if it goes over and down a bit. It doesn't really want to fit that well. It just kind of makes this weird Santa beard looking thing. Maybe with enough force I can just shove it down over there, and it looks kind of okay. Not that great. It's too chunky, I would think. So it'll just stay right here. So that's that accessory at least. The eyes look good. The hair looks good. The little tiny horns are adorable and really cute. I don't think I've noticed that the other Koopalings don't have horns at all. It's really weird. They're more Koopas than Bowser's kids, I would guess, I think. But he looks very nice, at least. He does get a swivel over here. No articulation for the wrist, I'm afraid, but just up and down. It's probably an older mold or something. But getting this to really match up is kind of a pain. There you go. You gotta get it really in a certain spot. The legs don't move at all. No pins or anything. The back looks nice. It has that nice sort of like sectioned off pieces like Bowser does, which is great. He looks like a little Bowser. It's really cute. You can use him for Baby Bowser. You can use him for Bowser Jr. Whoever you want to use him for is fine by me. He looks really cool and good. Big Bowser Jr. is nice. I really love how he looks. A little smile with a little like chub over here is really cute. The tooth is really nice. He does swivel like this. He has a little less, green color over here. It's more of an olivey kind of green. The horns are a little bit bigger, and the eyes are larger, along with the eyebrows, and the hair is huge. It's great. I love how big it is. Sectioned off. Little back is really nicely done. This little tie is done as well. I really like how this is like neatly, placed like that. We do get a lot of articulation points that are visible, and I think we're touched up later on to make it look nicer and less toy-like, I would think. So you go up this far, down, all the way around. You get a swivel right over here with some articulation going up and down right there. You do get a swivel down here with a back and a forward, and you get down, up, and then you get a no swivel, which is kind of a shame, and no peg holes on the feet. And you get tail articulation going down, up, and then a little bit of swivel, kinda. He's nicely done, but not as good as I think he could be. A lot of it is character design flaws and action figure flaws, and I wish they could just redo him maybe soon. So technically my prayers were answered. This is somewhat of a redo. This is a one with the paintbrush from Mario Sunshine. Looks really great on that. I really like the little EGAD symbol over here. It's really nicely done. The paintbrush on top is really nice with the white paint, or at least the gray paint. I'm not sure which one is which. This is very thin, could be flimsy. Just be very careful. The EGAD logos on both sides, with little spikes over here. Very, very well detailed. It slides right back into his hand very nicely. And now he technically has a little wand like everybody else. He does get up this far, down, all the way around. You can swivel right over here with some articulation going up and down on the fist. Articulation going up and down over here with some up and down and all the way around as well. For this, just watch out this doesn't fall. and I believe he has the same leg and tail articulation along with the head. It's a nice looking figure, same as before, a lot of remolds, a lot of reuses, but it's different enough for me to get it. And he also fits really well inside the clown car. So here's Roy. He doesn't exist, but he will someday. Moving on. And finally, here's Ludwig von Koopa, the strongest of all the Koopalings. I would believe maybe even stronger than Bowser Jr. in some cases. They look really nice together, so let's check out their heights and how tall they are. The small one stands at about 2 inches tall, maybe 2 1/4 or so, and the larger Ludwig stands at about 2.5 to maybe 3 inches tall or so. So let's see which one is the best Koopaling. I always liked Ludwig. I find that his hair was better when it was white, but it's blue now. It's a little more fantastical, which is pretty cool and adds to the rebellious vibe the rest of the Koopalings have. It also matches his staff, which is pretty cool. It's a really big thing of hair. I'm not even sure why or what, but it does affect his articulation. I can't move at all. The one tooth is really nicely done, and the little beady eyes are cute. He looks like he's ready to just get ya. There's a big seam over here in the hair, and it is a little bit top heavy, but with this figure, it was sort of weighted out and measured and, scienced to be, standable. It's great. Doesn't really fall over at all. Really wonderful. Very nice. You get a swivel right over here, going up and down. You can go, you kind of can go all the way around. You get a swivel over here. Again, the bracer is independent for some reason. You can swivel up this far and back this far, but you can go all the way around. You get a swivel independent once again, and no articulation over here, no peg holes. I like how this is made so the yellow is a shell for this part right here. They should do that more. And as they keep going with the Koopalings, they could backtrack and redo some of them. The back looks really nice with all the blue. The back of the hair looks really good. And this is super nice. I love this thing. Yeah, this is a really nice figure and very well done. The staff does move in and out, and it looks really nice, complements the figure well. Little Ludwig is a big one. Big Ludwig is amazing. I love this guy. He's super cool and pretty evil looking, very demented. I like how they made him very demented and strange. We have a really nice look to his face that's really creepy. The hair looks wonderful. The back looks really nice too. Very nicely done with that spacing on there. Super duper cool. Wow, really well done. He is just really wonderful and looks awesome. You can't swivel him. You can go up and down. You get up this far, down this far, all the way around a little bit. You do get a swivel over here. This can move in and out. It's a little bit tight though. You do get a wrist joint going in and out a tiny bit. For this side, you do get a wrist joint going in and out a tiny bit. The same articulation applies up and down and swivel all the way around. You do get an outer joint in, swivel a little bit. You get down and up, and then pivot with no peg holes, I'm sorry. I'm so used to that from different reviews and stuff. But he looks really nice and super cool. Really great looking figure, and I'm very happy with it. He is just awesome, and yeah, I think he's one of the better Koopalings out there. As far as clown car usage goes, here's Larry. I had to sit down Big Wendy to get this to work. Morton and Big Iggy, both Lemmys off the ball, both Lemmys on the ball. I'm really surprised this can work. And Ludwig. Overall, no matter what the scale, I love the Koopalings. They're all so varied, wild, wonderful, and really fun. I've always loved how they look since day one when I had Mario All-Stars for the Super Nintendo, and I played that game a lot. But when I got to the Koopaling bosses, I was fascinated by their looks and otherworldly charm. For Christmas one year, I actually asked for all 7 Koopalings and a Bowser Castle, not even knowing if it existed yet, but now I am glad to say that my Christmas wish can almost finally come true. I have an almost complete set for both scales, and I'm just waiting on the rest to be made or at least available for a decent price. I love all these figures incredibly so much. I'm very happy that Jakks Pacific has taken the time to make them all, and they all look so great and amazing. I can only hope that Jakks Pacific finishes the entire group so we can have them battle Mario and Luigi in an epic fight for the Mushroom Kingdom. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Heck Creative. Feel free to click like, subscribe, share, or leave a comment. You can also visit us at jesseheckcreative.com, where you'll find more reviews like this one. Thanks again for watching, and keep being creative. Stay tuned!